какую-то хуйню поймал. Палки аж перегрызает. Какие зубы.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Found you, see that?
What are the chances of casting a line and pulling up a secret the ocean was trying to hide? From mysterious sea creatures to chilling encounters far from shore, these aren't your average fishing trips. Could the water be holding more than we know? Join us as we reveal 60 times fishermen captured what no one was supposed to see. Fishing nets accidentally catch big, rare fish all the time. But when these folks in Russia raised their fishing net into the boat, never in a million years would they have anticipated what they were about to find inside. Somehow they just caught a massive sea lion in a fishing net, and now that the beast was on their boat, they were in grave danger. They had to get rid of it or things could get out of hand. They knew they couldn't get close to the sea lion without risking their lives, so all they had was water to attack it, which clearly wasn't enough. So at this point, all they could do was hope the sea lion left them alone on its own accord. Adventure Agents is a YouTube channel focused on showcasing fishing and survival content. In this video, the group heads out to the shore to spearfish. A few minutes later, one calls for the other after seeing something shocking.
Keep it firm. Ah, I got it. There we go. That's not getting off. Okay, come on now. Woo! That's a...
Moray eels aren't usually aggressive, but their bite can be severe if provoked. Their sharp teeth and strong jaws can cause deep wounds, and some species have toxic mucus, worsening injuries. In the ocean, even a minor bite can turn dangerous fast.
Wow! Oh, get away from my head. Oh my god. It's fine. Ow, it's got the camera. Okay. All right, let's put...
Even experienced spearfishers must stay cautious. One wrong move can turn a simple hunt into a life-threatening struggle against the ocean's unpredictable dangers. The sea is home to some of the scariest creatures in existence, and this catch from Cyprus certainly checks that box. It's creepy, massive, and looks like it belongs to another planet. With its open jaw and bulging eyes, this thing looks like an absolute monster. What's stranger, however, is the inside, because that growth doesn't look natural from any angle. Don't worry though, this isn't some ancient fish monster resurrected from the dead. It's just a grouper that has seen a lot of action in its heyday, making it look extra strange compared to the rest of its species. Fishermen sometimes catch strange-looking fish due to deep-sea upwellings, changing ocean currents, or storms displacing deep-dwelling creatures. Others surface due to illness, injury, or pressure changes, revealing rarely seen species with bizarre features adapted for survival in the ocean's depths, which is probably what you see in this clip. Strange-looking fish are often sold in markets if they're edible, with vendors marketing them as rare delicacies. Some are mislabeled to appear more appealing, while others are dried, salted, or processed into fillets to mask their unusual appearance before reaching consumers. But it seems like this terrifying fish will sell for a lot. Speaking of strange fish, these folks have captured a fish that defies all logic, because while it looks like an ordinary flying fish at first glance, the situation changes when you move to the front.
Так, ну
Вот
давай
это
пока.
вот смотри, вот у нее рот.
It has wings like a flying fish, but the way its mouth keeps extending at the front means it's something else entirely. The real freaky stuff, however, appears when you look at its eyes.
И нос. Видишь, рот и
Ага.
нос, там зубы. Они колючие.
Ну-ка засунь туда руку.
Да, щас. Вот это вот непонятно, что это, клюв?
Many think this is a rare deep-sea creature called the goblin shark. It's also considered a living fossil because of its largely unchanged lineage for over 125 million years.
А, вот носик еще, да, вот этот вот.
Горбун какой-то. Может, это что? Я не знаю.
Ну прямо пиздец какой.
Deep within the wilderness lies a vast hidden lake, home to some of the world's strangest marine creatures. Mysterious and abundant, the waters hold species rarely seen elsewhere, as seen in this clip. Excited to catch some fish, the fisherman can be seen fixing his line and preparing all his equipment. Finally, he attaches a lure to the end of the line, increasing the chance of something getting caught. Little did he know that what he was about to catch would shock him. Some fish develop leg-like fins, allowing them to crawl on land. Rare but real, these adaptations help them survive in extreme environments, proving that nature's creativity knows no limits. Catching strange fish from the sea is one thing, but this Russian sailor caught a creature that can only be described as a monster straight out of hell. It may look like a moving spider skeleton, but make no mistake, this thing is very much alive and lives on the same planet as us. But despite its appearance, it's not a spider. It's something else entirely. Called a sea spider, this creature lives on the seafloor and camouflages itself near rocks. But here's the kicker. Its impressive legs aren't just for movement, it also breathes through them, making it a truly unique specimen. Roman Fedortsov, a fisherman from Murmansk, pulls an unusual creature from his trawl. The animal wriggles in his hand, its movements unsettling. It looks like something from a nightmare. As he holds the strange monster up, Roman stares at the creature in awe, wondering what it is. The Polychaete worm, with its unsettling appearance, seems almost otherworldly. The seafloor is full of strange surprises, but this one might top them all. Polychaete worms thrive in the deep sea with bristled bodies and eerie movements. While harmless, their alien-like appearance makes them unsettling creatures of the ocean depths. The ocean floor is home to some of the strangest creatures in existence, so much so that some of them look like they don't even belong on this planet. And this particular fish is the perfect example of that.
Is it mad?
Yeah.
Touch
Is
it.
it just... Look! Oh my god!
Look at that.
Wow.
Goodness.
Oh my god.
Not all of them have to look like world-ending monsters, though. This little guy, for instance, seems to have emerged straight out of a kid's cartoon show. That said, no one knows what sort of danger it could pose.
Wow.
Wow.
We really ticked him off.
What?
Are those like the gill arches?
However, while the scientists in the video are confused by what they're seeing, the reality is that fish can often adapt and change shape depending on their environment. This one happens to be a pelican eel that has learned to thrive on the ocean floor.
So I can show him how big I am.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yep, he's doing the shake.
The encounter begins with a man relaxing while on the job in a large boat. The shipping vessel can be seen traveling fast in the middle of the night when, out of nowhere, the man catches a glimpse of something strange.
got another one over here. What are those?
The man immediately records the strange creatures swimming alongside the boat. You can even see the creatures keeping up effortlessly with the vessel. Despite this, the man keeps calm and continues recording when suddenly this happens.
Bro, what is that noise? Where are you?
Some believe siren songs lure sailors to their doom, blending myth with eerie reality. Whether real or illusion, the ocean holds mysteries that are still unexplained. Sometimes you catch something so horrific that it makes you question if you've unleashed some evil on this world. This fisherman in 2018, for instance, was sure he'd just caught a mythical monster.
Че какую-то хуйню поймал. Палки аж перегрызает. Какие зубы, блядь.
The sea creature looked like an ancient dragon. What made it particularly scary, though, was the fact that it looked as ferocious as ever, even when it was out of the water.
Нихуя там клыки. Рад, блядь.
Don't let its terrifying teeth and ancient appearance fool you, though, because this wasn't actually a hell-raising sea monster. Turns out the fisherman had just caught a scary-looking catfish, and he had no idea.
Цапнуть мало не покажется. Бобик, палку. Аборт. Аборт. О.
The fisherman lifts his latest catch, its dark, slimy skin glistening under the light. But the eyes steal all attention, massive, bulging, almost unnatural. The ocean holds many secrets, and this one looks like it came from the deepest depths. As he turns the fish in his hands, its eerie features become even more unsettling. The deep sea is home to creatures few have ever seen, but this one might be among the strangest yet. Some deep-sea fish develop eerie, oversized eyes to navigate the darkness. Their strange features help them survive but look almost otherworldly to us. The following footage comes from Russia, where a fisherman caught one of the weirdest creatures he'd ever seen because, while it looked like a worm you'd find on land, it was actually a sea creature.
Ну нет, тут их не едят, это биологи едят.
В заповеднике, понятно, не едят.
Но на Тихоокеанских островах.
Commonly known as a ragworm, this thing can grow as much as 70 centimeters in length. What's impressive about it, however, is the fact that not only does it have eyes, antennae, and tentacles, but it also has gills for breathing underwater.
Тело, которое забито половыми продуктами. И там все местные жители просто дуреют. Это кусается. Вот, да, это здоровенный челюсть.
But while this thing looks normal from a distance, its freakish nature is revealed in full force when you flip it over and examine the bottom, because even a short glance is enough to make you wince.
Перевернули его брюхом кверху, и он такой прямо
Alone in the dead of night, the fisherman waits, the water calm and silent. Then his line jerks. Whatever's on the other end fights hard, thrashing against the pull. He finally reels it in with effort, but something feels off.
And when you use the hair rig, look at that, right on the bottom of the lip, straight just like that. So I can turn him around.
A strange detail catches his eye as he lifts the fish into the light. The fish's lack of one. Only a single eye stares back at him, the other side completely smooth. This catch just got a whole lot weirder.
Whoa, look at that. He has no freaking eye on there. That's insane.
Some fish adapt in ways that seem almost unnatural, missing eyes, extra fins, or strange mutations. Nature is unpredictable, and sometimes it delivers the most surprises. Much like wildlife on land, life underwater can also be absolutely brutal. These divers, for instance, were just observing a mesmerizing flamboyant cuttlefish near the sea floor when something else decided to join the party. Seeing a cuttlefish like this is rare, but watching it get attacked by a bobbit worm out of nowhere is a one-in-a-million sight that you could never forget. But there's more to this encounter than meets the eye. The cuttlefish got attacked despite its camouflage because the bobbit worm doesn't even have eyes. Here's the kicker though, it didn't eat its prey because flamboyant cuttlefish is actually poisonous. The fisherman stands on the icy spillway, his line cast into the freezing water. Everything is still, until his rod suddenly bends under the weight of something big. He braces himself, carefully reeling it in, not realizing how strange this catch will be.
I guess we're gonna go down here.
As he lifts the fish onto the ice, something immediately feels off. Its eyes look hollow, its size is impressive, but the most disturbing part? There's no mouth, just smooth skin where one should be.
All right, we need to get him over the big camera. We need to get a better look. All right, well, I literally just caught one of the weirdest things I've ever caught on my channel. He's got...
Some fish adapt in eerie ways, losing features like mouths or eyes. Whether from mutation or deep-sea survival, nature's strangeness never fails to surprise. The thing about the sea is, you've got to be on your toes even when you're not underwater, and this kayaker found that out the hard way because as he was making his way through the calm seas, he noticed ripples forming beside him.
What the...
A bizarre, snake-like creature had just approached his kayak, but there was more. This thing had no head and seemed to stretch for dozens of feet. He had no idea what he was dealing with and had to be careful with his next move.
What the hell is that? That's huge.
He didn't realize he was dealing with a siphonophore. And if there's one thing you should know about these creatures other than their freakish length, it's that they can be extremely dangerous because of their poisonous stings.
But they're all connected.
If anyone could tell me what this is, let me know in the comments.
Drifting along the river, the fishermen scan their surroundings, enjoying the calm waters, until something up ahead catches their attention. Two dark shapes move steadily through the current, their powerful bodies quickly cutting through the water. The fishermen grab their cameras, realizing this is a rare sight. Carefully, they follow at a safe distance, watching as the jaguars push forward with effortless strength. The river is theirs to command, and as they reach the shore, they vanish into the wild once more.
Exceptionnel. C'est là le moment où il va falloir faire des belles photos.
Jaguars are powerful swimmers, using their muscular bodies to glide effortlessly through the water. Unlike most big cats, they easily embrace the river, hunting, and traveling. The following footage comes from the coast of Turkey, where a fisherman was left confused after his catch, because not only had he not seen anything like it before, but this sea creature was also the definition of bizarre.
Gördün mü? Renk attı. Bak mor attı. Allah Allah. İlginç bir şey.
The slug-like creature looked like it had folded itself up after coming out of the water. But the fisherman wasn't just gonna let it back into the sea like that. He decided to pry this thing open, which, in hindsight, was not a good idea.
Bak su atıyor bak. İlginç. Oy gözüm. Baba şey de gidiyor ama şişiyor da bak.
If something wants to remain closed, it's for good reason, but the fisherman took the risk and sliced it open. Except that the only thing he got in return was a nasty sting from the creature's carcass.
Aslında yenir ya. Niye yemesin ki? Et ha. Yok ya git.
A fisherman stares down at the strange creature before him, unsure what to do next. Curiosity battles hesitation as he weighs his options, until he finally gathers the courage to do something genuinely shocking. Curiosity drives him to act. He plunges his hands into the water, gripping the creature. As he lifts it, its sheer size leaves him stunned.
Like an armor catfish.
In 2016, a man was fishing off the Malaysian coast when he reeled in something that terrified him to his core. While it initially looked like a white eel, it turned out to be a hideous monster. This thing had no business being caught by an ordinary fisherman, what with its massive jaw and sharp teeth. What really sealed the deal, however, was the fact that it didn't even have any eyes. The fisherman watched in horror as this beast floundered in his boat, opening its jaw and showing why catching it might have been a mistake. But was it just a strange-looking eel, or did he catch an ancient sea monster? This fisherman caught the fish of a lifetime. They reel in what they thought would be a shark. To their surprise, they see something incredibly unexpected and terrifying.
Largest what the heck is that, Richard? Ah! It's a monster! Look at that. That's why we release them all, and that's all.
Red snappers can grow up to 40 inches long and weigh around 50 pounds, though most average between 10 to 20 pounds. These deep-bodied fish are known for their striking red color and can live for over 50 years in the wild.
Fish.
Well, only grow between half a pound to 2 pounds a year.
So this is an 80-year-old fish.
Yeah.
That's unreal. The biggest snapper I've ever seen in my life. Wow.
Catching such a massive snapper is a rare feat. With decades spent in the ocean, this fish has likely seen more than most fishermen ever will. Drifting closer, the man approaches a small boat floating motionless in the water. Two passengers lie still, fast asleep, unaware of anything around them. The silence lingers until one of them finally stirs. As he shifts, something beside him suddenly moves. A sharp splash breaks the quiet as a small reptilian figure launches itself over the boat's edge, vanishing into the water before he can react. This video comes from Russia, where a fisherman caught something near the lighthouse that he couldn't even believe was a real sea creature.
Поймал странного зверя, мягенького, без глаз, но есть рог.
The thing had inflated itself like a blobfish, meaning it must have belonged to the deep sea. That's where the similarities ended, though, because this thing didn't have a distinguishable face and had strange rocky growths all over its body.
Походу задница. Не знаю, что это такое. Наши спецы пускай оценят, скажут.
The strange thing was that this creature didn't move, almost as if it had died long before it had been caught. So, was it a pufferfish that had been ravaged by the elements, or something else entirely?
Как яйцо. О, такое вот чудище. Ой.
The fisherman casts his line into the chilly Wisconsin waters, expecting a walleye to take the bait. But when his rod suddenly jerks, the fight feels different, more substantial, wilder. He reels it in, wondering if he's about to land something completely unexpected.
What is that? Is that a gar? Wow. Out of all the things to catch.
As the fish surfaces, he gets his answer. Long and sleek with a toothy snout, it's a gar, a surprising catch for these waters. Excited, he looks closer, amazed to find one here in Wisconsin.
Look at that, I just caught a needle-nosed gar. He actually tried to eat it too, that's what's crazy. Look at that.
Gar are rare this far north, and their presence is surprising even to seasoned anglers. Adaptable and ancient, they sometimes turn up where least expected, defying expectations. The following footage comes from Tanzania, where an extremely unusual creature caught the eye of a scuba diver. But as he got closer, he realized he was about to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Also known as the sea goddess, this nudibranch was a rare sight because not only was it completely white, but it was also larger than most other specimens of its kind. Even more importantly, though, there are about 3,000 species of nudibranchia, yet the scuba diver happened to run into one that was supposedly unknown, making his experience extra special. The fisherman sits patiently by the water's edge, skillfully working his fly rod. The weight stretches on, but then, a sudden tug. He sets the hook and starts reeling, curious to see what's on the other end. Lifting the fish, he pauses, inspecting its odd shape and unfamiliar features. It's not what he expected. Turning it over in his hands, he mutters in confusion. Whatever this is, it's a first for him.
It's like a pretty good sized sucker or something, whatever you call that thing. But it's on the beach.
Some fish appear so unusual that even experienced anglers pause in disbelief. Whether from mutations or rare species, nature always finds ways to surprise. Seafloor is home to some bizarre creatures, but sometimes you see something so alien, it almost makes you question your place on this planet. And these three-finned fish are the perfect example of that. Their bodies may look like ordinary fish, but the fins are where the magic happens. These are long, pointy extensions that resemble legs, and guess what? They act like legs too, because these fish use their fins to stand on the ocean floor. The three-finned fish is almost 40 centimeters tall when it's standing, but why does it stand in the first place? Well, these fins help it remain stationary and save energy during strong currents. The fishermen set out on a routine trip, casting their lines and waiting for a bite. But when one of them finally hooks something, the excitement shifts to confusion. Whatever's on the other end isn't putting up much of a fight, but something about it just feels off. Pulling it from the water, they finally see it up close. A pale fish with strange frills near its gills and blade-like fins. As they inspect it, a local quickly warns them about its sharp spikes. But the surprises don't stop there. Moments later, they flip over a floating log. And what happens next is a surprise.
Jeez, oh man, there's so many in there. What are they?
In 2017, a group of men found a fish carcass just lying there on the grass. What they didn't realize, however, was that the fish was very much alive and ready to attack anyone who got close to it. They had no idea what they were dealing with because this fish bit several people and continued to breathe on land. So at this point, they could only come to a single conclusion. They were dealing with a mutant fish. Not only was this thing creepy with its big teeth, but the fact that it munched on anything that came near its mouth meant it was dangerous, and they had to be very careful with it. Deep in the pitch-black depths, a strange figure drifts into view, its translucent form barely distinguishable against the ocean floor. The crew watches in silence as the creature slowly shifts, its shape flickering between familiar and unrecognizable. Then, Without warning, its body darkens, morphing before its eyes. A shudder ripples through it, and in an instant it splits cleanly in two, both halves vanishing into the abyss. Speaking of dangerous fish, here's a perfect example of why you shouldn't mess with sea creatures even when they've been taken out of the water. Because not only are these things very much alive, but they're not afraid to attack either. While it may not look like it, this is a pufferfish in its normal state. Yet even though it looks like it hasn't inflated itself as a defense mechanism, it doesn't mean it won't tear through anything that threatens it. This bad boy is chewing through a soda can like it's nothing, and getting a hand close to it would certainly be a grave mistake because, at peak, these things have jaws that are strong enough to crush snails. The fisherman casts his line into Braunig Lake, waiting as the water ripples around him. His first catch comes easy, nothing out of the ordinary. But as he throws his line back in, the next one feels different. Something is off.
It's really fun. All right, let's get another one. Damn.
Reeling it in, he finally gets an unmistakable look. The fish's body isn't shaped like it should be. It bends unnaturally. He turns it over, trying to make sense of it before letting it slip back into the water.
He probably got hit by a boat or something when he was small.
At the beginning of this clip, two men can be seen using their small boat to fish in the middle of the ocean. After reaching their desired spot, one prepares his fishing pole until he finally reels it. A few minutes later, this happens.
Yeah. Oh, it's cooked. Phew! Where's the... Oh, yeah.
After seeing the weird fish being reeled in, the man starts to slow down. Unsure whether he should continue reeling the fish in, he asks his friend what he thinks. They eventually decide to reel it in, and what they see shocks them.
What is that? Oh, crazy.
The fishermen were shocked when they reeled in the fish. The sudden pressure change had caused its bulging eyes to reveal the ocean's mysteries. Witness a disturbing scene as a fisherman inspects one of his strangest catches yet, a fish that looks normal on the surface, but when you look closer, things get a bit more terrifying. Most fish have sharp teeth that help them chew through anything they encounter underwater, but not this bad boy. This thing has human teeth, and for a good reason, because this piranha, unlike many of its other cousins, only eats plants. Fishermen sometimes reel in bizarre creatures. Deep-sea fish with translucent skin, bulbous eyes, or even bioluminescent features. Some are rarely seen, swept up by storms or shifting currents. When something strange appears, it raises questions. Is it an undiscovered species, or something from the deep unknown? Some fish have bizarre features and unsettling behaviors, making them seem almost otherworldly. While some pose no threat, others carry large jaws, inflict painful bites, or act unpredictably. In the deep, appearances deceive, and danger lurks beneath the surface. The ocean hides creatures beyond imagination. Some harmless, others potentially dangerous. Each discovery reminds us how little we truly know about the deep. In 2018, a video of a sea creature went viral across social media in China because the man in it hadn't just caught a fish, he'd caught something straight out of a horror movie. The creature had no discernible face or limbs, yet it moved like it was alive. But the real scary part was that, if you squint your eyes just enough, you could see a silhouette of a human in there, meaning this could have been an actual alien. Many thought he'd found the gingerbread man, while others claimed he was pulling a prank by holding a doll that could move. So, what was it really? This fishing can be mind-boggling when unexpected catches, deep-sea creatures surface, or strange unexplainable movements tug the line, leaving anglers questioning what lurks beneath. Take this encounter as an example. Look at what this fisherman manages to reel in. Upon further research, the fish most likely belongs to the Alaskan wolffish species. Alaskan wolffish are deep-sea predators with powerful jaws and sharp teeth designed to crush hard-shelled prey. While not aggressive toward humans, their bite can be dangerous if provoked. Cold, murky waters hide them well, making encounters rare but unpredictable. The fisherman casts his line into the still waters of the Everglades, patiently waiting for a bite. Minutes pass before his rod suddenly bends. Something just took the bait. He starts reeling it in with steady hands, curious about what's on the other end.
Fish. Would you eat it? Let's see if he's got it. Got him. There we go. Well, that'll be a new species for me. Heck yeah.
As the fish breaks the surface, he finally gets a good look. Litzagar, his first ever. Long, armored, and prehistoric looking. It's not the rarest catch, but it's a brand new experience for him.
Check him out. Oh. There he is.
Gar have roamed waters for millions of years. Their armored bodies built for survival. Catching one is always exciting, especially for a first-time encounter. Video comes from Russia, where a man found a strange green blob on the ground. When he went closer and touched it, however, he realized he was dealing with a very unusual sea creature. This thing looked like a fish from the top, but the feet at its bottom were enough to make anyone wince. Despite its absurd appearance, however, this thing was not actually an alien. It turns out the man had just stumbled upon a brachiopod, a sea creature with feeding organs growing on its underside resembling arms. Don't let their creepy nature fool you though, and these things are virtually harmless. In October 2024, people on a beach in Thailand experienced something they'd never seen before. A rain-charged tide that was so intense that it had caused some very bizarre creatures to wash up onto the shore. Make no mistake, these aren't snakes on the beach, they're poor eels. What makes this disturbing, though, is the fact that there are dozens of them around, which is an extremely rare sight. Two friends head out into the ocean in their fishing boat. Ready and equipped, they immediately throw their lines into the waters, hoping to catch something. They eventually do, but what they see is not what they expected.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that? I think I want to touch that.
The fish thrashes as it dangles from the line. its rough textured body resembling a rock covered in algae. Its spiny fins flare outward, hinting at something venomous. It could be a stonefish, one of the most venomous fish in the world, but anything is possible out here in these waters.
Lock this.
Looks like a lizard fish on steroids or something. That'll give you nightmares.
They eventually decided to throw the fish back into the water, but the question remained, what could it have been? This video comes from North Carolina, where a fisherman caught one of the weirdest sea creatures in existence, the oyster toadfish. Even though it looks like a normal fish, the toadfish has stretchy, slimy skin, making it a very bizarre creature to touch. Even more weird, however, is its croaking sound. But of course, none of that compares to its gaping mouth. They have teeth going back as far as the eye can see, which pairs well with their ability to eat anything that can fit inside their mouth. And the name doesn't come from nowhere either. These bad boys behave like toads underwater. The fisherman waits patiently, scanning the water for any sign of movement. After hours of searching, the line suddenly tightens and the battle begins. The sheer force pulling against him is unlike anything he's felt before.
It's gonna be easy to get it out. Putting the rope on this fish.
Muscles tense, the fisherman struggles to control the massive creature thrashing beneath the surface. The alligator gar emerges slowly, a prehistoric giant nearly 7 feet long. With one final effort, they bring it in, tag it, and release it back into the murky depths.
She was right at 5 feet long, probably around 8 to 10 years old, and we're about to let her go. This is actually a baby.
Alligator gars are massive, prehistoric fish with armored scales and sharp teeth. Despite their intimidating size, they rarely threaten humans and prefer solitude. A toadfish isn't a rare sight, but this thing that a Russian fisherman caught definitely is. The most unusual thing about this deep-sea creature, however, is the fact that it's not even a single entity, it's two things living together. This is a Kamchatka crab and a barnacle combined into one single being as symbionts. But here's the kicker. Even when the crab dies and is out of the water, the barnacle continues living inside its body, almost like a parasite. This horror story doesn't just end there, though. When things get dry outside the water, the barnacle can fall into a state of hidden life, where it can survive for several months in a dry state without any oxygen. The fisherman grips his rod tightly, reeling in something that refuses to come up quickly. The others on the boat watch closely, anticipation building. Whatever's on the line isn't putting up much of a fight, but its weight suggests something unusual. Finally, the catch breaks the surface and the group gathers around. The creature's bizarre, almost prehistoric appearance leaves them stunned. Its massive head, rough texture, and eerie teeth make it look like something that shouldn't exist. Some deep-sea fish look almost prehistoric, with rough textures, eerie teeth, and bizarre features. Nature's strangest creations often lurk where few ever venture. The video starts with a fisherman feeling completely lost because he's got no idea what he's just caught. The sea creature looks nothing like a fish, but there's a catch.
It's a little hooky, because I don't know what this is. If you know what this is, please tell me. But it's very weird.
It may appear to be skin that a sea creature may have shed. However, the moment he picks it up, the object starts breathing on its own, eliminating that theory.
Moving by a weird. See if I put it down and go closer, you'll see.
It doesn't have fins, legs, or even eyes. It's an absolute freak of nature that's somehow alive. But the question remains, is this a part of another sea creature? Or has this fisherman just discovered something new? In March 2013, an expedition of scientists was exploring the depths of the ocean when they stumbled upon something they'd never seen before, a dark alien-like creature that had decided to swim right beside their vessel.
Остаются загадкой. Конечно, ученые открывают новые формы жизни практически каждую неделю, но это только верхушка айсберга. Большую часть нашего существования
It was a mesmerizing sight, with the creature brandishing its fins and floating gracefully, unlike anything else in the ocean. However, there was more to this story than they'd initially thought.
впечатлило нечто, что не может быть с нашей планеты.
With the silver lines and the flowing fins, many thought this was a rare black vampire squid. But then the creature descended deeper and showed something that remains unexplained to this day. At the start of this video, a man casts his line into a quiet creek, waiting for the perfect catch. It doesn't take long. Almost instantly, something tugs hard. What happens next is nothing short of intense.
Dang. Nice, Kenny. Nice, Kenny.
He showcases the large fish he catches, stating it's probably close to 16 pounds. This is already an incredible catch, but as if this wasn't enough to satisfy his day, he throws the line again, only for him to catch this.
Oh, mono. I can't believe he ain't busted it. Let me see how you hook, bud.
Catching a massive catfish is already exciting, but reeling in a giant snapping turtle, that's a whole new level of unexpected and potentially dangerous. In Russia, a fishing vessel caught a fish that looked normal at first glance. But when the crew got closer and inspected it, they realized they'd caught something they'd never seen before. Everything about the fish was normal. The eyes, the fins, even the shape, which is rare for these discoveries except for one thing. This thing had no scales. In fact, it looked like someone had completely stripped it and thrown it back into the ocean. This certainly wasn't a goblin shark though, so what else could it possibly be? The crew hauls in their catch, the morning sun casting a glow over the water. But something is off. One net is impossibly heavy. Whatever's inside is massive, far beyond their expectations. The fishermen brace themselves, struggling to pull it aboard.
今日午前6時過ぎ、室戸岬の三津漁港の沖合で網にかかったのは
Then the catch finally surfaces and the deck erupts in shock. It isn't just the size that leaves them speechless. It's the sheer strangeness of what they've just pulled from the deep. Some deep-sea creatures are so rare that even experienced fishermen fail to recognize them. The ocean hides giants, and sometimes they resurface unexpectedly. Seeing a fish without scales is one thing, but these folks experienced the stuff of nightmares when they witnessed a fish approaching the riverbank, because while they initially thought it was normal, it was anything but. They knew something was wrong when the golden fish started approaching them, but the situation really went off the rails when this thing poked its head out of the water and showed itself because it had a human face. Fish can have deformed faces for all sorts of reasons, but this one was far too close to a human to be anything but some mythical creature. And just when they thought the nightmare was over, the fish pulled off another move. The following footage comes from Russia, where a fishing net got hold of a very unusual catch, because not only was this creature rare, but it was absolutely gigantic. The fishermen stood in awe as they'd just caught one of the largest bony fish in the world, the ocean sunfish. Seriously, these things can be 10 feet long and weigh up to 2,000 pounds or 1,000 kilograms. Of course, people have seen sunfish before, but the fact that this massive sea monster was caught in a fishing net makes it truly unbelievable. The fisherman struggles to hold up his catch, his arms barely wrapping around its massive body. The sheer size of the fish is almost unreal, far more significant than anyone would expect. Even standing beside it, he looks small in comparison. As he steadies the fish, its accurate scale becomes apparent. Nearly 3 times his size, this catfish could swallow him whole. With one last look, he carefully lowers the giant back into the water, watching it disappear into the depths. Some fish grow to unimaginable sizes, dominating their waters with sheer bulk. Their massive presence is astonishing, regardless of age, environment, or genetics. Speaking of big catches, these folks on a fishing boat wrangled in something that's not supposed to be caught in a million years. They thought they caught a big manta ray, which would have been impressive. However, what they caught was perhaps even more unusual because this thing looked too narrow to be a manta ray. It was a guitarfish. Being a blend between a shark and a ray, it's easy to see why someone would mistake this for a manta ray. But the guitarfish itself is one of the rarest creatures in the ocean, so much so that some species are listed as critically endangered. The beginning of the video shows a large group of people forming a crowd on the shore. At first, the source of the commotion is hard to see until finally we get a clear picture of the terrifying sight these locals are seeing. Some stand back, uneasy, while others move closer, pointing and talking. The creature's massive form lies still, its features obscured by sand and debris. Its size alone is unsettling, but the real shock comes when someone nudges it, revealing something unexpected. Unfortunately, the video is cut short, and what was supposed to be a revelation about the creature is now left unseen. Not all fish are found underwater. Sometimes they are on land as well. These folks, for instance, notice a strange hole in the ground during their adventures, and when they dig it up, they find something very interesting.
Look at this.
He's talking.
Look at him.
Turns out a fish has been living underground all along, and not any fish, it's a mudfish. These are strange creatures that, without water, retreat into a cocoon and somehow survive even dry conditions.
And he's in a cocoon. Look at this.
Yeah, remove him. Crack him open. He's in a cocoon.
They can slow down their metabolism and absorb oxygen through their skin. This particular mudfish isn't as unfortunate though, because once it's pulled out of its shell, it won't survive without water for long.
A very big one.
And look at the small legs.
A large group of divers can be seen descending onto the ocean floor, closely observing a large grouper. The fish can be seen approaching one of the divers, increasingly curious. Moments later, the encounter starts to get scary. The large grouper continues swimming up to the diver. Some already sense the danger that's about to happen but remain calm. Suddenly, the atmosphere changes as the large grouper decides to do this. Groupers are usually docile, but their sheer size makes them unpredictable. A bite like this could have been disastrous. Luckily, the diver escapes with minor injuries. In 2014, an expedition vehicle was examining the deep-sea ecosystem near the Gulf of Mexico when it ran into one of the most bizarre creatures in the ocean, the siphonophore.
Oh my goodness.
What is this?
Like a siphonophore. Yep.
Much like the previous siphonophore, this one also stretches on for several feet. But that's not the thing that makes them special. No, these creatures aren't actually one thing. They're made up of smaller animals called zooids.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The way they all come together and act as a single organism is mesmerizing, to say the least. So much so that even the expedition crew was left in complete awe of this miracle creature thriving on the ocean floor.
We think this might be a siphonophore.
I'm taking like crazy frame grabs right now.
That's great.
The fisherman moves between the golf course ponds, landing some decent fish. So far, nothing is unusual, just a solid day of fall bass fishing. But as he casts his line one last time, something unexpected bites.
Oh my lord.
Reeling it in, he immediately notices something strange. The head is massive, like a trophy bass, but the body? It's way too small. Turning it over, he shakes his head. This is the weirdest catch of the day.
Look at that poor fish. Ew. Guys, he's nasty.
Bass can develop odd proportions due to genetics, diet, or environmental factors. This catch proves that surprises are always possible, even in familiar waters.